Seconds away on Studio 5. We're going all in with singer and songwriter Matthew West and...
I went to a doggy wedding last weekend and it was like surprisingly emotional.
The dog days of summer come to the big screen with funny twists and turns.
I mean, they're dogs, so you can't help but love them.
And this childhood music prodigy is all grown up.
I won't compromise this time. I'm gonna love harder this time.
And this time, he's sharing music in Studio 5, starting now. Welcome to Studio 5. It is time to jumpstart the countdown and shine a light on uplifting entertainment news. At number 5.
Did he freeze? An antelope in headlights.
Need a reason to see Black Panther on the big screen again?
I am Iron Man.
Your chance to see every Marvel superhero movie in IMAX begins August 30th through September 6th, when select IMAX theaters screen all 20 films to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And what are these?
The real question is, what are those? Why do you have your toes out in my lap?
At number 4.
What are you dating, like an accountant now, or
Owen,
ventriloquist?
stop it.
You love a dummy.
That Jurassic World performance
And your choice for summer movie actress and actor are Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt.
earns a Teen Choice Award for Bryce and Chris points his young fans to an even bigger star.
Make those movies just for you. I'm so glad you like them. I want to thank God. I always do that when I'm up on a big platform in front of a bunch of young faces. I say, I love God. That's my thing. I love him. And you should too.
And so the countdown begins. Recording artist Matthew West is a friend to Studio 5, and he's here to push us all to dive all in. Matthew West is here, and we are all in.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going all in. Head first to the deep end.
Let's begin with all in. What's the driving force behind that? Why that?
Well, I was asking the Lord the same thing because I felt like this was my 8th album I've ever made, and I thought, like, just now God's calling me to go all in, and I sort of had a conversation with the Lord, like, isn't that what I've been doing? You know, I mean, from the minute I decided I was gonna make music for a career and for a living, I decided I wanted to make Christian music and be a positive role model and tell the world about Jesus through my songs. And so I was like, Lord, I've already gone all in. And I feel like it was a real process of me realizing that God was telling me, I have more for you. Like, I have deeper depths I want to take you in your relationship with me. I want to show you the areas of your life where you could be going deeper, where you could be going farther, where you could be living in more devotion to me. And so it was kind of humbling, but then also exhilarating to realize that I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? And really God's saying, no, I'm just getting started. Watch and be amazed at how I'm going to use you. But it's time for you to trust me in the areas of your life where you've played it safe. No more. It's time to go all in like never before. And so that began the process of me taking some inventory of my life and saying, okay, Lord, what are the areas of my life where I'm playing it safe, or where maybe I'm settling for something less than what you have for me? And every song on this record is sort of an answer to that question.
Wow. Tell us about some of those areas of being challenged where he said, you know, this is safe, another step.
It's great. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I started to realize that when I think of like what it might look like to go all in for Jesus, my first instinct was to think about the big stuff. Like, well, how many people can I sing in front of, right? How many interviews could I do, or the high profile things? But I felt like God kept redirecting my attention inside the four walls of my own home, to be specific. And so there's a lot of songs on this record that talk about my relationship with my family. My wife and I have celebrated 15 years of marriage, and I felt like God was showing me, hey Matthew, she's been your cheerleader from day one. She is a huge reason why you're able to travel and do all these things. When's the last time you really were her cheerleader? and it's time to go all in like never before as a husband to your wife, and your next 15 years will be even better than the first 15. I was like, woo, that hit me hard, you know? And then to take that even a step further, my daughters, Lulu and Delaney, 12 years old, 9 years old, it's going fast. And there's a song on the record called The Beautiful Things We Miss, and it talks about that. It talks about my desire to say, Lord, help me not miss what's right in front of me. And it says, because pretty soon, the beautiful things we love will become the beautiful things we miss. And so some of the songs, they kind of make that aching feeling a little bit, you know what I mean? And just that realization of like, okay, Lord, what does it look like to go all in as a dad? You know, forget all the music stuff for a second. Like, my music is now a reflection of my personal journey of going, I want to be all in as a dad, as a husband, inside the four walls of my own home. And I don't want to get to the end of my life saying, well, I had a good career in music, but my kids didn't have a relationship with their father. Yeah. That's, what will I have to show for it? Yeah. Those are the prayers I'm praying these days, and that's what I feel like the Lord's been showing me.
I love it. I know that your last project, you talked a lot about identity, so now we're talking about going all in. It seems as if this project, if you will, was transformational.
For me personally, it really was. And I think, again, too, you know, you can, there's a song that I put out on the radio several years ago called The Motions, and the lyrics talk about, you know, I don't want to go through the motions. I don't want to be coasting my way through life or settling for something less. And I kind of think of All In as the Motions 2.0. It's just these kind of shots in the arm to remind you like, hey, you're alive and you get one chance to do this. Are you going to waste it? Are you going to take it for granted? Are you going to settle for something less? Or are you going to, you know, choose to not take each breath for granted and say, God, what do you have for me today? Am I going to live my life with eyes wide open? And so, yeah, I do feel like there's a correlation too from that journey of discovering your identity in Christ. Hello, my name is child of the one true King, to once you tap into who God says you are, then the possibilities are endless. Because as long as you're believing a lie about who you are, or being ruled by your past, or by what the enemy says about you, what your friends say about you, what your dysfunctional family says about you, you can never step into the fullness of God's plan for your life. But when you go all in for the God who's gone all in for you, you know who you are in Him, and you know that the best of your life is still yet to come. And that fires me up just talking about it, you know.
And Matthew has a special performance of All In. It's coming up a little bit later in the show. Still ahead.
You're being mean to me now. Now you're being mean to me. And I'm like, you have to get away from me.
Get ready to laugh as the dog days of summer make a splash on the big screen.
The set was just fun and funny. There's just always a lot of laughter. I feel like people were really happy.
We're going behind the scenes of this family funny. And welcome back to Studio 5. It is time to get back to the countdown of the best in uplifting entertainment news. At number 3. Lots of news from Carrie Underwood, and she's sharing on Instagram.
My new album, Cry Pretty, comes out on September 14th. The Cry Pretty Tour 360. Yeah, I said tour. It's coming your way in 2019. And you might be wondering or asking, Carrie, why is your tour starting in May? Well, yay! Mike and Isaiah and I are absolutely over the moon and excited to be adding another little fish to our pond.
At number 2.
Just gonna have you come to this place here.
Right.
He's gonna be really yelling at you. And action card!
That's filmmaker David Cunningham at work on the film Running for Grace, in theaters August 17th.
And this particular film is all about the power of adoption. Adoption is the gospel, and the gospel is adoption.
What's with that kid? He just showed up out of nowhere. Where's your parents? Come on, you can live with me. I'm the new doctor for the plantation. If any of you are sick or get hurt, you just see Joe, and he'll come get me.
Actors Matt Dillon and Jim Caviezel star in this powerful story.
I think it's a film that will really resonate with the people, has great redemption to it.
I have been trying to adopt this kid. I believe this young man has the makings of a physician. Perhaps you'd like to be on a winning team.
The distinguished doctor has taken an interest in you, my dear.
A miracle.
Selling your only daughter off is a miracle?
With that, there is only one more remaining headline in this week's countdown. Get this, a television news anchor seeks advice from her dog's therapist. Crazy? Funny? Well, it is just one of the storylines in the film Dog Days. In case you missed it, take a look.
The human actors are outstanding and funny and wonderful.
You're being mean to me now. Now you're being mean to me, and I'm letting you stay in my house. You have to get away from me.
The dogs don't let the human actors upstage them. They're also fabulous.
For me.
You know, the dog doesn't want to sit, or it's late, and you know, things are moving that you can't control. And I think like that was a new experience for me, and I think it made me better.
Oh my God,
It definitely took a bit longer to like get the dog on set, make sure everything was ready, then have the dog on set, and then make sure they know what they're doing.
It's okay, girl. There is no reason to be nervous.
Hi.
Hey.
Dr. Mike.
Oh, I know. I serve you coffee across the street. Sometimes. I'm Tara.
Tara, right, yeah. Tara who serves me coffee.
That's
and
me.
I enjoy it every time. How are you? It's good to see you.
You too.
Wow, by the looks of this little lady, she's been on the street a long time.
Well, don't I relate?
To being on the street.
It was a joke. The set was just fun and funny. There's just always a lot of laughter. I feel like people were really happy. Having dogs around kind of zens everyone out a little bit.
Reset, roll camera.
Guys, here we go. Take 3.
I love directing and I love being around actors, and so every day was sort of special. You know, what was nice about this particular movie is there's so many storylines and so many actors in it. Every day was a new surprise.
And that right girl. Wow, so many kids out here.
All of my friends are having kids right now.
My whole family ask me all the time what the holdup is.
Yeah, what is the holdup? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?
Comedian Bill Burr has a bit where he talks about he and his wife getting a dog, and she goes, "Bill, it seems like you love this dog more than me." And he goes, "Well, you're never wagging your tail when I come home." Like, this dog is happy to see me. You just sit on the couch waiting on me to come in there. And I think that's kind of what it is. It's like it's that moment of like the excitement of like reconnecting every day and every time you see.
You know how it is. So I think I'll give it another try.
It's hard to compete with a lady like Brandy.
This is still just a dog date, right?
Yes. Still just a dog date.
The truth is it was a lot of fun, but it just takes a little time to shoot dog scenes.
Well, hello.
Do you think I'm ridiculous? Throwing a party for my dog?
No, I went to a doggy wedding last weekend, and it was like surprisingly emotional.
Maybe it's because dogs are the most adorable creatures on the planet.
Her little face looks so angry and happy at the same time. Listen to me, baby, that's all you got.
Whatever it is, dogs mean the world to us.
I want to help you find your dog.
Hop on.
Are you out of your mind?
I mean, they're dogs, so you can't help but love them.
This is not our dog.
This is our dog. This dog has made us a family.
Every spot that you've sniffed on this entire walk is the same. Just pee anywhere!
Dogs open their hearts to us, to love, and to be loved. And I find that beautiful.
Dog Days is in American theaters right now. Before we go to break, a good friend of Studio 5, Brian Andrew Wilson, has new music and a new music video. Take a look and a listen to why this time is what's playing in my ear.
Dancing, smiling, living, sing the praise up to the true king that's reigning. I'm free from opinion, walking dominion. That's why I win. Yeah. This time, I'm not gonna be. This time, I'm not going away. This time, I won't run and hide. This time, I won't compromise. This time, I'm gonna love harder. gotta live smarter this time.
Still to come. You've heard this version of All In, but Matthew's back with a softer twist on his latest anthem.
And welcome back. It is time now to take a look at the final headline in our countdown of uplifting entertainment news.
For number 1, we head to Memphis and enter the gates of Graceland during the heart of Elvis Week, marking the 41st anniversary of Elvis Presley's death.
It's been more than 40 years since Elvis's death, and as you can see behind me, fans are still lining up just to get a taste and a touch of the king. And some 41 years later, the memory of his death is still very vivid for his daughter, Lisa Marie.
It's very vivid whenever I'm here, when I'm not here, when I'm here. So I do like the fact that Elvis Week, which is around this time every year, has become more of a celebration of his life.
This year's Elvis celebration brings a new look at his love of gospel music to the Elvis Museum, and a new recording of his gospel sound, with a fresh duet with his daughter.
And that wraps the countdown and brings us back to Matthew West. He's here now with an acoustic twist on his latest anthem, All In.
My feet are frozen on this middle ground. The water's warm here, but the fire's gone out. I played it safe for so long, the passion left. Turns out safe is just another word for regret. So I step to the edge and I take a deep breath. We're all dying to live, but we're all so scared to death. And this is the part where my head tells my heart you should turn back around, but there's no turning back, and now I'm going all in, head first to the deep end. I hear you calling, and this time the fear won't win. Oh, well, I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in. I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in. Yeah. I believe that one day I will see your kingdom come, and I want to hear you say, welcome home, my child, well done. So I step to the edge and I take a deep breath. I'm not turning back around, 'cause there's no turning back, and now I'm going all in, head first to the deep end. 'Cause I hear you calling, and this time the fear won't win. Oh, well, I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in, yeah. All in. Well, I'm all in. I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in. I'm all in. Oh, yeah, yeah. All to you, Jesus, I freely give. As long as there's breath in these lungs, I will live with reckless abandon. My heart in your hands, I surrender it all. I'm going all in. I'm going all in, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going all in, head first to the deep end. 'Cause I hear you calling, Lord, and this time the fear won't win. Well, I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in. I'm all in. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm going all in. I'm all in. I'm going all in. Well, I'm all in. Yeah. I believe that one day I will see your kingdom come, and I want to hear you say, Welcome home, my child, well done.
Still to come, here in Studio 5.
Need a picture for my frame. Someone to share my...
A new picture and a new headline in the Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin romance.
Welcome back. You've likely heard it before. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's take a look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
This week's Studio 5 Snapshot is Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin, and this photo is making the rounds, along with an exclusive People magazine story, sharing the couple is slowing down wedding plans to enjoy the engagement. At the same time, Bieber has also been spotted a few times with Tim Keller's book, The Meaning of Marriage.
And with that, we are almost out of time for this episode of Studio 5, so let's look ahead to see what we're working on for you for next week.
Seas are raging, you hold me in your hands.
New music from Brian Dyson delivers a much-needed message you don't want to miss.
When we try to act like we have it all together, we try to act like we're good, we rob him of his glory, which is interesting because when we're trying to do it on our own, we're saying, God, we're good without you.
We'll have that for you next week. As for the final word for this show, we're giving that to the man of the hour, Matthew West. He's got advice for his younger self and for you today.
I'm going home.
God has big plans for you, and His plan is always going to be better than your own dreams and plans. And that's something I've had to learn throughout my life. My dad calls it the difference between God's major league plan for our lives. I think he used baseball terminology because that's how he knew he'd get a hold of me. But our dreams are minor league dreams compared to God's major league dream for us. And when we realize that, we can kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, not my will, God, but yours. Not my dream, but yours. It's always going to be better. It may look different than we thought, but it's going to be better.
That is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.